Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob the Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're looking at unboxing, looking at for the first time, experiencing, whatever you want to call it, 4 more Poikilo knives. Yeah, this is part of those 15, so this is part 2. So let's take a look. All right, today we're looking at 2 more new knives. Ones they're just releasing, they're brand new, so these are things that you may not see in the stores yet, you may not even see on their website yet, but these are knives. Some of them we saw already at Blade Show, like we saw the Gecko, we saw the Zen. They were released, or at least I saw them at Blade Show, Texas. And Zen won the Best Factory in Blade Show, Texas 2025. We don't have the Orca. That's the one that won Best Factory in Blade Show West 2024. So anyways, let's take a look at these 2 guys and see what we got. So first, let's take a look at we'll start off with the tuna. Now, what happened is if you saw my earlier video, if you haven't seen it, I maybe suggest to go back and take a look so you can kind of see what we're doing here. I was sent 15 knives by Poikilo, and some of the knives are like some really mid-tech, high-end, really nice knives. And some of these are new knives that haven't been released yet, but you can sometimes see at the Blade shows. I was at Blade Show, Texas, and that's where I saw the Gecko the first time. Somebody bought the Gecko, and we were at dinner, and I saw it, and I was like, man, that's a great knife. So this is the Mini Tuna. Now, you may have heard of the Tuna. It's a bigger version of this, and that one only has a front flipper, what I saw from the pictures. I haven't handled it, but this is the Mini Tuna, okay? And so this one has both a flipper, and it also has a front flipper, so you can front flip it as well. Oops, sorry, it's a little small. Definitely, if you like smaller knives, you're gonna like this, right? This is DLC on this one right here. Let's get our little cloth out here. Now, just so you know, these knives that I'm getting to check out, these were knives. They were at Blade Show, Texas. They were their display models, and so I'm getting to check them out, and these will likely be their display models at Blade Show Atlanta. So I'm gonna finish these up and send them back to them so they can have them. So very, very cool couple of knives here. So this is the Mini Tuna. Got a little oil over there. So I always recommend oiling your knives. Some people don't, some people do. It's up to you. Let's see if this one needs to be wiped down. Yeah, it does. These have fingerprints on there, probably from people handling it and what have you. So I'm just gonna wipe it off for our camera here. You know, I got 15 knives. It was a lot of knives. It's the biggest number of knives I've ever seen come in one time. So that was fun. It still is fun, by the way. So this is the Mini Tuna. Again, a Poikilo knife. Poikilo is their own OEM, if you didn't know that. My experience, this is my impression, now handling 18 of their knives. I would say that they're at the level of Riyadh. If not, forgive me for those of you guys who are going to have a heart attack when I say this, but I might contend they might be a little bit better. I don't know. Their quality sure seems amazing. Now, their style is totally radically different. And so if you're looking for the same old, you know, maybe this is not for you, but I like some of their designs. The clips here, very functional. This one's a little smaller, so it's gonna be a little more challenging for me. It is this is a liner lock, not an inset liner lock. So this is a full liner lock. Is it titanium? Let's see. Yeah, titanium liner lock. Is there steel bar insert? Is steel bar insert on that titanium liner lock? Got a backspace with a little place for a lanyard if you want. Mill deep pocket carry clip, hidden screw. You notice there's no screws out here. That's because the screw to release that. Well, I thought it was right there. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not know how to take this one apart. This one throws me because on the other ones, like my Gecko, there was a screw in there that you would unscrew. So I do not know how this releases. So I'm not even gonna tell you how this releases because I do not know. I don't see any logical way to open it. I mean, I could take the clip off, but yeah, so this is an inlay on top of here. How do I get to that, and how do I get that off? Yeah, I honestly do not know how this one comes apart. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I honestly do not know. Sorry. I'm going to skip forward through this just because I want to take a quick look. Okay, I have no idea. I have no idea. Since there's no information on this, all I can tell you is that they've got to have some magical way to take it apart. I know in my Gecko, there was a screw in there that you just unleashed. Long screw you got in there. It was a T8 torque screw, and this was, I think, was a T10, or yeah, I think it was T10 or T15. I can't remember. But these are not mine, so I'm not going to take these apart to assemble them, do anything. These are, you know, displays. These are samples that they use for when they go to blade shows and stuff. So I am not going to do that with these guys. These are not mine. Yeah, I'll have to ask him if I remember to ask them, because I have no idea how these guys come apart. And more voodoo magic from them, because I know the other one, I had no idea how you took that one apart, and that was interesting figuring that one out. So, all right, so this is the Mini Tuna. What we've got here, we've got like an inlay on top of here. Looks like there's a border here where they connect, so I'm assuming that they're one piece. Maybe they're fused together, glued together, I don't know. Or else they're, I don't know how they're together, but you can feel there's a little line there to kind of give it a two-tone, which I think is cool. I think it's really cool. I just have no idea how this would unscrew in the back part. There's nothing to unscrew it. The only thing I see is one screw, so I don't know. I don't know. When you drop it, you are going to hit like this on the fingernail, the guillotine, which is not my favorite. I will tell you that. The thumb stud's okay. It's not the most comfortable because it's kind of sharp there. So again, smaller hands, I got big old meaty fingers. The front flipper works okay. If you go low at all, you do have a chance of not being able to deploy it. So you have to get the very tip of it. You have to go up in order for that to actuate, right? And this flipper here, you don't get a lot of leverage. So if I'm not perfectly snappy light switch, then what I can do is I'm pretty sure I can fail it. So let's see. Yeah. So if I attempt to do a push button, yeah, push button's not going to work. So not my favorite, but it is a smaller knife. And if you've got smaller, thinner fingers, you don't have big old meaty fingers like me, you might like this a lot. So I'm going to be fair, right? This is not every knife is designed for every person. And this feels like it's a smaller design, more compact design. I can tell you that the Tactile Knife Company, the Rockwall, the original flipper was great, but the one that they came out with when they did the flipper, very tight, very compact, made for really, really small hands, little skinny little fingers, no meaty fingers. I tried 3 times to be able to use a Rockwall. It just hurt. It was uncomfortable. It's just one of the worst thumb stud designs for my meaty fingers. So there's no way I'll ever own a Rockwall unless they change it, right? I love the Rockwall design. The flipper I really enjoyed, but the Rockwall thumb stud, I wanted to love it. I just couldn't. And I'm running into this same issue here. McNee's would sort of be the same. It's almost like a barrel kind of a pivot, but he has rings in the middle, so I could put a 6mm O-ring on there and get away with it. There's nothing to do here. What I would do if I bought this, I would replace the pins, the thumb studs. I would take these off and put new ones on there because they are just not comfortable. So, I mean, again, for my big old hands, my big meat fingers, right? So smaller hands, you might find this really nice because I think you can get in there and easier to get to. I mean, as you can see, I have to really squeeze down to get down here, which is ironic because sometimes usually smaller knives work well for me. You can reverse flick it. That works okay. The reverse thumb works okay. I'm not getting like a real snappy flip, which is kind of this, and it's hard to, and you can see I left-handed, I almost dropped it. It's a good thing it's nice padded here. That's why I like to do things on here. A little crisper here, but again, I have to get high. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Gotta get high, and then if I do the flipper here, let's see. Yeah, it's not super snappy. You have to really kind of make it go, and even then it doesn't sound super snappy. It's not a strong actuation, not a strong flip. Front flipper, let's see how well does that work. Yeah, again, it's low. If I go a little low, see, I'm not gonna be able to, yeah, I'm not gonna be able, it's unnatural. I kind of catch as I go over. And let's see, if I push button, yeah, it didn't lock. So push button, yeah. So again, smaller knife, definitely made for smaller, skinnier hands. I think there's the benefit of that. It's really well made though. I cannot deny that. The action, it's smooth. everything about it. I just think it's made for smaller hands. Like my wife, she probably would enjoy a knife like this. It'd be good for her hands, not mine. And so that's okay. That's all right, right? You know, not every knife is going to be a knockout, a home run, a knockout for every hand, for everybody's ergonomics. But it's cool to see what they offer. So if you're like, man, those are some big knives, Rob, do they have anything smaller? Well, yes, they do, matter of fact. And they have something that would work with smaller, skinnier fingers. And I think this would be something you could certainly entertain. I like the idea of the Mini Tuna. All right, so now the other one's going to be the Armadillo. These are also new knives. The rest are going to be like mid-tech knives that have been out. And we'll do other videos on those. But this is the Armadillo. And this is a new design as well. It's got kind of some interesting flavor to it, okay? So first of all, you've got this blue anodization, blue pivot collar. You've got the stone washed, almost looks like acid stone washed. This big blue back spacer, it's kind of got little scales on there, like looks like little layers. Got a little place for a lanyard, definitely can have that. You better be dead nut centered, do you see that? You got a nice big fuller thumb hole. You got a flipper, so that's nice. And this is true on both. Now this one's not fancy colored, it's pretty basic in color, so if you wanted something a little more clandestine, here you go, right? So you have choices. I like the smaller, thinner lock bar. That's nice, especially with big, meaty fingers. Let's see that flipper. Flipper's okay. Flipper's okay. Very, very, very strong lock bar. Ooh. If this was mine, I would absolutely be tuning this because that is a stiff, stiff, stiff lock bar. Now, you remember I said there's no screws on here. How do I get into it? Well, you can see on this one, they have a screw. There's the screw. I didn't see a screw over there. I just have no idea how to take this one apart. Really have no idea. That's a mystery. So, but that one's easy. That screw, and then that screw, and then it comes apart. It comes apart very easily, just so you know. So if you want to put skiffs in there, though the OEM cage bearings are really nice. I will tell you, they're pretty smooth. But man, wow, that lock bar is tough. We got a little cutaway. No, just chamfered inside. Ooh, we got a little step milling on the chamfering. That's nice. Nice little texture on this side. Give you kind of a little grip as you're pushing in. But it is a wickedly, wickedly strong lock bar. Let's see. Is it true on both? Oh yeah, that's really strong too. Ooh, and that detent is really, really crisp on that one. Yeah, you got to make sure you get in there. I mean, the benefit of a crispy detent is that when you actuate it, it's gonna open up nicely. But sometimes your fingers can slip off and dig in a little bit, and that can be uncomfortable, right? But this is a crispy one. This is certainly crispy. Now let's see, how's that fuller? Oh, okay. Let me do it left hand. Whoa. Okay, that is a strong detent indeed. Wow, let's see on this guy here. Yeah, it's much easier, much smoother. Could be the material. This is that high satin polish, and this is more of a stone wash, so more gritty, more contact. You know, maybe that's the resistance it's kind of building up when the detent ball goes along the blade, but certainly will probably build in a track, you know, after you do it enough, and then it'll get smoother for sure. But I will tell you, that is a crispy, tight detent. I'm not a fan of super crazy strong detents, especially if you got a fuller and a, you know, I know flippers, some people love strong, super crispy detents, but you know, to each their own, right? This is definitely one of those unique blade shapes that not quite my cup of tea, but it's cool to see because I know some of you guys out there, you love that Persian Bowie kind of, I want to call this a bow Persian or per bow. Call it a per bow knife, I guess, like a Persian and Bowie sort of modified. I know is probably more of a Bowie, really, but it still looks like a Persian in some ways because it feels like the whole knife has an overall aesthetic, even though that's really kind of a Bowie, I guess. I don't know. You tell me what you think, but I think it's modified. We're just going to call it modified. I like the clip. Nice flexibility going in and out of the pocket. Definitely away from the cutout on the lock bars, and that's not sharp at all. So you're going to go in and out of the pocket pretty easy. I like that. Relatively deep pocket carry clip. You're going to be all the way up to here. It's not fully hidden, but pretty close. You got a little place for the lanyard like we showed earlier. This is pretty stiff. It's going to be cool though. Some people are going to really, really dig this blade. Now, something that's stiff, crispy like this on the detent, I can fix that. I can tune that, no problem. And I can make it to what I want. You know, for me, it's got to call out to me. The aesthetic's got to call out to me. So far, the Gecko has really called out to me, and the Taro has called out to me. There's might be a couple of those mid-tech ones that they sent. I'm pretty interested in. I just don't know if I can afford them right now, but they are pretty nice. The Mini Tuna, You know, if I was to look at this and if you were to refine something like this, because this is such a nice, beautiful aesthetic and overall design, it seems like this would be a little less cost effective because you're doing liners and all that stuff. One of the things I would love to see is some chamfering there, even though they've got a sharp edge. It seems to be okay, but still pretty stiff, right? I would love to have a little better access to that flipper. That's kind of difficult. The thumb studs are really uncomfortable. Either just get rid of the thumb studs if you're going to do that. The flipper needs to have a little higher leverage, but the problem we have here is apparently, yeah, that is where the flipper, that's where it engages the lock bar right there. So you really can't do much there. All right, it's a little small, so for me, this is not going to be the most conducive carry, you know, but it's still pretty cool. Still pretty cool. Yeah. So those are the small nitpick things. If I was going to say, if you had a version 2, you wanted to refine it, those are things I would refine. On here, it's a really, really strong lock bar, strong detent, and maybe that was intentional. And if that's the case, then mission accomplished, right? And you know, but it won't be my cup of tea ever. Nice wedge, not all that stuff. It's kind of a non-traditional, pretty radical kind of looking blade. A little too radical for me, but you know, I like to see what they could do, because if they can do stuff like this and they can execute it well and people love it, that means they can do other stuff that I love, right? So that's okay. You know, kick in the muse, come up with creative stuff. I love it. You know, it just because I don't love the design doesn't mean it's not a good design, right? These are incredibly well made. These are incredibly well made. Really great design, great quality as far as craftsmanship when they put it together. Just some small things that I would love to see. I mean, if this was to be marketed towards someone like me and you wanted me to use it, you know, I know this is part of the look. This needs to be a little shorter, right? And then this flipper needs to come up a little higher, so I can actually not try to light switch it. It just doesn't feel natural. The thumb stud needs to be a little more comfortable. It just doesn't feel comfortable, right? Maybe a little pokey tip right there. I would prefer not that. And then tell me how to take it apart, because I would definitely put skiffs in that. As far as this one, this is going to be pure aesthetics. You're going to love this or you're not. If I love this design, this is great. Absolutely fantastic. It really is. It's a strong detent, no question. But some of you guys just love your strong detents. You're going to be like, man, this is great. I would tune it. This is definitely one of those where I know I could tune it and I could make it really fun, right, for myself. But I would absolutely have to tune it, because it is crispy, man. It is like you got left in the oven, you know, for 2 days, burnt crispy, charcoal crispy, kind of crispy. So yeah, it's a little too crispy for me. I would definitely have to tune it, even for just a flipper. Never mind the fuller here, because it's hard to do left-handed altogether because it's so crispy. So, but I like what they're doing here. I mean, there's a couple of small aesthetics you changed on this thing, and I would love it. I would love it. You know, maybe not be so round and round over here. I mean, just kind of take that little kind of super round part there, and then don't do this giant bowie here. And there's a slight recurve. I'm pretty sure. Is that a recurve? Let's see. I'm pretty sure that's a recurve. Come on. I need something straight. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's definitely a recurve. So it's a recurve. I'm never a fan of recurve. I don't like recurves. So those of you who love recurves, don't mind recurves, cool. You're really gonna dig this, right? It has a lot of potential. What I love about this is it's so close to something that I would really, really like. That's why. So it's so close. You know, I think of what is it? What is it? Knoll Knives. Knoll Knives. They have the Voodoo. I think it's kind of cool. It's just a little over the top for me. And then they had the Radon. That's cool, really cool. But they had the Ghoul. The Ghoul was so cool. It kind of reminds me of the curving of the handles and everything. It was just too small for my hand. I mean, this works in the hand. I won't lie to you, it does. It's got nice jimping up here. Jimping is kind of functional. It's not super aggressive, but it does work. This choil is kind of a faux choil. It's really big sharpening choil. I wish it was a little smaller, or it was more room for the finger. One of the two, right? Don't be stuck in the middle. But I will say that I feel like this has potential. It has potential to become something a bit more. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm on the fence on this one. I'd love to hear what you all think. So let's do some quick zoom ins here. I'm going to move some of these off just a little bit so we can kind of focus on one here. So here we have, this is the Armadillo. Again, I think this is a Bowie / Persian / whatever modified. And then we have the stone washed handle right here. You can see the cutaway, the milling. There's a little texture there. I think that's pretty cool. You do actually see the screw in there so you can take it apart. You've got the clip here, not as sharp, definitely rounded up there. Hidden hardware, I like that. Here's that beautiful backspacer with the blue anodization. I think that's simply stunning if they do blue or that purple that they love. So then you see the back up here, nice and rounded. It does have, there's milling right there. You will see it on the other one a little bit better, but definitely milling. It kind of gives it a little chamfering along with the contour of the handle and the nice rounded edges, no sharp edge right there. Nice clip going in and out of the pocket. Full flat grind with a big swedge on top. I think that's really cool. You see minimal $3.98, and then you see the little Poikilo, little lizard there. So I think that's kind of cool. Jimping on top. Unique jimping too, by the way. I think that's kind of cool. Looks like all H's, like, you know, hey, hey, or huh. Yeah, so anyways, very cool, very cool. All right, that is this one here. So let's look at this one here. A little more polished, so you can kind of get a look at this. We'll be a little faster here. So you get the nice polished look right there. And this is almost hologram. The swedge is hologram. So you can definitely use it to kind of navigate your cut into thick plastic, cardboard, paper, leather, whatever you're cutting through, right? And now you can see the jimping a little bit better right there. I think that's kind of cool. You have that backspacer now. It's not anodized, just plain titanium. This is black, which I think is cool. You see over here, and you do have the screw right there, right? That nice backspacer. It's got a little look. This kind of reminds me of a Herman right there. And then you have the M398, just beautiful pearlescence, kind of a stone washed look on both sides. So I think that's kind of cool, right? All right, so let's look at the Mini Tuna. Here you've got this giant swedge. This is definitely going to be a cutter kind of knife, like a drop point. I'd call this a drop point for sure. Thin trailing hand, going smaller. I don't see a screw. I do not know how this comes apart. If I'm missing something obvious, let me know. Hidden hardware. Disassembly is hidden as well because I have no idea how it's going to be done. You've got a little standoff back here. Is it a floater? Yeah, no, not really. But you got the little lanyard loop back there. You've got the clip right here. It's going to go in and out pretty nicely. Got the liners with the insert steel bar for over travel. It does drop pretty well. Thumb studs, they're okay, right? And the front flipper is okay. Again, this is really made for smaller hands. For me, this is a little bit of a challenge. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so let's look at the next one. This is the non-DLC plain titanium with that pearlescence kind of blade. You can see that right there, nice and shiny. And then you have this here with a standoff with this kind of, I don't know if this is PVD or black anodized, I don't know. And then you got the clip here, got the back spacer over here, the little lanyard priority. I'm pretty sure that's a T10 or T15, I don't know. Anyways, thumb studs, not my favorite. Wish they were a little more volcano, did have a sharp edge, but they're okay. They're okay. All right. So there you go. Kind of an interesting little knife, I think. All right. So let's do our little money shot for this video, or what I call the thumbnail, right? I can call it money shot too, because it's like, this is when people want to see if they want to watch the video. Is this something interesting to them or not? All right. So let's kind of get these lined up somewhat. At least be able to get one picture here so people can look at this and go, oh, that's interesting. I think I might want to look at that. Maybe, right? That's always my hope. So there you go. There is the knife right there. Two knives. We've got the Armadillo, the Mini Tuna. So I think they're both pretty cool. All right. Any questions out there? Please feel free to comment down below. I'd love to hear comments, questions, thoughts on this. If you own one, want to own one, you love this. Maybe you handled one of these and you're like, this is the greatest thing next to sliced bread or whatever. I'm cool with that. Just let me know why. Let me know why. Or if you don't like it, tell me why you don't think it's going to work or why you don't like it. Is there a reason? Is there a logical reason? Something maybe somebody else didn't think about. I think that's fair. And I love to have those kind of comments. I love to have engaging comments. Even when we are 100% in disagreement, that is okay. It's okay. That's what the whole knife community is about. We don't have to agree on the same knives, how we like the knives, how we enjoy our knives, right? We could just agree to respect one another and agree to disagree and be all right with that. But learn from one another. That's what I do. Okay, so I don't know what happened there. It just got cut off, but we're back. All right, so Here are the 4 knives. We've got the mini tunas, we've got the armadillos, very cool. So we're part 2 here. We're going to be going to a part 3 here, but yeah, thank you guys. Let me know what you think about these 2 guys. There's technically 2 knives with 2 variants of each of the 2 knives, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. Subscribing and liking the videos really helps me out. It allows the channel to grow, to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you to everyone out there. Appreciate you so very much. Also, if you haven't already done so, maybe check that notification down below so you can be notified of future content like this video and other videos. And a big shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys. You do 2 amazing things for me. You are like my workout buddy. When I don't feel like working out, you are there. You encourage me. And I really do appreciate that very, very, very much. Yeah, it's not like I don't enjoy it. It's just what happens is you encourage me in the days just to remind me why. And so I appreciate that, especially when you have a full-time job, you do this part-time. The other thing is you also, because of your generosity of your memberships, you allow me to continue to do a weekly giveaway, which I'm super grateful and excited about. Thank you. Also, you allow me to check out knives, do things sooner than I ever thought I would be able to. Like checking these 15 knives out from Poikilo, it's expensive. It's going to be expensive shipping it back. It's going to be a lot of insurance because we've got mid-techs in there. It's going to be a pretty penny. It'll probably be the cost of at least 3 or 4 giveaways for me, just so you know that. So I appreciate your generosity as memberships. I really do. So I try to do 2 things exclusive for you guys as members. One, I do a once-a-month members giveaway, exclusive just to members. Usually it happens at the end when we do a regular giveaway. And then the other thing I try to do is all brand new channel members, I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a little thank you note. So if you just became a channel member just recently, you never asked for a channel sticker, never gotten a channel sticker, and you're just a brand new channel member, email me with the name and address and say, hey, I'm a channel member active right now. I'd love to get a channel sticker. I'll mail you one. I'll thank you note. If you were a channel member before or a channel member all along, but you never asked, you just decided, hey, today's the day, I'm going to ask. Please just let me know. And I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and I'll thank you note as well. All right, sure do appreciate every one of you guys out there. You guys are all amazing. So if you haven't already, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.